the Jamaica Derby, the 103rd running of it, and they're off for the Derby. Secret Admiral breaks in behind horses. California Gold over on the far side. Thalita comes right through now, going for that lead. Mojito is right there too. Strike Smart looking for room in between them as they leave the quarter pole for the first time and come away toward us in the stands. Mojito the grey on the outside, possibly just the leader. The leader is close up with Strike Smart. California Gold down against the rail. Money Miser staying close all the time. Strike Smart fading out just a bit, caught by Huntsman as they passed us for the first time, and Mojito has been sent straight to that lead. Money Miser in pursuit with Thalita. California Gold is down against the rail. Huntsman racing on their outside, then Strike Smart and Ability. Kai on the go on the outside of Super Alex. Down against the rail, that's Secret Admiral. Life is Life on the outside, Steen toward the back, and on Charter at the back of the field as they arrive over toward the far side and the 7. It is Mojito attempting to go all the way, striding out by some 3 lengths. Being chased by Money Miser and Thalita in third. Huntsman is racing next as they make the way toward the final 6 in the Derby. Behind Huntsman, a gap opens up to Ability and California Gold fading. Strike Smart and the rest have mountains to climb as they leave the 6. Super Alex and the Secret Admiral stablemates race up together. Steen in behind them with Life is Life. Further back to Kai on the go, and on Charter has not improved as the strung out field leave the 5 and Mojito continues to lead. Huntsman is left 3 lengths down. Thalita now asked to go after the leader. There too, that is Money Miser as they're arriving at the half-mile marker. A huge gap opens up to Ability. Strike Smart is next with Super Alex on the outside of Secret Admiral. Life is Life in the red silks races ahead of Steen. Then we have California Gold on Charter, and Kai on the go has faded badly as the leaders now leave the 3. It is Mojito stealing away Ability. The surprise of the party now comes on the scene on the outside as they leave the 5/16th, and Ability has now taken charge at the top of the lane in the Derby. The grey Mojito will have to dig deep. Here is a Money Miser now let loose, but it is Ability, the rider, changing his hold. Ability out in front, Money Miser drifting to the right. Mojito is back in third. It is Ability with a furlong to run. This is the 103rd running of the Jamaica Derby, and Ability holds a 3-length lead over Money Miser inside the final 16th. It is Ability and Alan Bongo, John Mirage. They're going to win the Derby and create an upset. Ability wins it over Money Miser. Secret Admiral running on is third. Mojito can only manage fourth, and Thalita fifth.
That was the unmistakable voice of horse racing commentator Brian Rickman calling the 2023 Jamaica Derby. Rickman has been a cornerstone of horse racing in Jamaica. For over 40 years, his voice has been a constant presence, chronicling the sport's most thrilling moments. With each race, his detailed and precise narration captured the essence of the sport, creating a vivid picture for those who couldn't witness the action firsthand. His commentary has turned races into more than competitions. They became narratives of perseverance, strategy, and triumph. Throughout his career, Rickman has borne witness to countless milestones. He has called races that saw the emergence of legendary horses and the rise of skilled jockeys. His recollection of these moments is not just a retelling of events, but a record of the sport's evolution in Jamaica. His voice has become a trusted source for racing enthusiasts, providing analysis and insight that has enriched the viewing experience for fans. Quick Gallop, jhay.com, and its YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper, celebrate Brian Rickman's career with this lifetime narrative.
Brian, you have been the top commentator here for a number of years. How long have you been doing this?
I missed 1 year, or it would have been 43. I think this year maybe 43. So I've really been around 44 years. It's 42 years I've been here when you calculate it out. Been here 42 years.
How did Brian get involved in horse racing commentary?
Chris's cousin, a fella named Mark Maurice, he's passed and gone now. I was talking to him and I told him I needed some extra money. And he said to me, that Chris was looking for somebody to assist him in the box at Caymanas. I knew nothing about racing, absolutely nothing. And he said to me, okay, he's going to speak to Chris. And he did, and Chris took me in. And then I became Chris's apprentice, so to speak, and that's where it started.
Were you into commentary at all?
Nothing like that. Knew nothing about. The only thing I knew from a kid was Bonnie Blue Flag. That's all I knew. Didn't know anything about racing.
And how was the process, the apprenticeship process? How was that for you?
I had to start from scratch and learn about maybe everything. I didn't even know what the tote board was when I first came here. So it was a learning process to get acclimatized with all the different assets of racing, or aspects of racing. So it took a while. I think I'm the commentator who took the longest to ever call a race.
How long was that?
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
What was that experience when you called your first race? First of all, how nervous were you?
Let me tell you something. How it started was Donald Thompson and myself were working because Chris had left the track. He was up in the broadcast box up here, right where we are now, doing JBC. Chris had gone. They weren't confident of me, and I wasn't confident of myself. So I brought in. They brought in Donald Thompson, who had never called a live race. He had been calling at Watson's Telex for English racing, which I also did. It started like this. They're off, and Donald would look, and I would say it's so and so. And I actually called the entire race around without actually calling it. I had to tell him all the horses. But Donald caught on pretty quickly. And I said to myself after that, I said, but if I can do this, I can call the race. Because, Donald doesn't know what I know. And after that, I went ahead and started calling it.
So your first race, you remember that race?
No, of course not. That's long ago.
So you wouldn't be able to recall what happened and how it went?
No, but it went okay. I guess it went okay because after that I took off and I started calling races regularly.
How was that 42, 43 years been for you? How would you summarize that period?
I've achieved some things that I never thought I would achieve in my life. I didn't come into racing thinking I would achieve anything like what I have achieved. According to the public, because you know me being here, I don't blow my trumpet. I was taught by my father long ago, empty barrels make the most noise and you don't blow your own trumpet, right? The public love me, which I'm honored that they do. As I say, I hear other commentators and you're going to think I'm ridiculous, but every one of them sound better to me than me. So I also achieved something I never thought I ever would in my life, which was my OD. So it has been a wild ride, and you have been amongst me for a long time, and you know not everything was smooth, but I guess it has smoothed out a bit. It's still not 100% smooth. Is your job 100% smooth? I don't think anything in the world is 100% smooth. It has been a wild ride, but it has been worth it, and I'm very honored that the people enjoy my work. And it's not just here they enjoy it, because I understand from sources that I'm highly rated abroad as well. So I feel very honored and humbled by it.
Spuddy, in your time here, have you been approached or thought about going abroad to do commentary?
No. I've called a race in Barbados. I went down to do an auction down there because I'm also an auctioneer. And I went to the yearling auction in Barbados. And Chris was in charge of Barbados at the time. And I called a 6-horse field down there. And it went over very well. I also did the Caribbean Classic in Puerto Rico. And
what year was that again?
I can't remember. Listen to me, Beanie. Sometimes I can't remember my name. But I was quite surprised how I did it. I made no errors. I called all of them and I had studied. So each horse I put the country. So I could tell you El Velve Candy Bay from Puerto Rico, Ria Chamita, Venezuela, and so on and so on. You know, so I did it well, I think.
I also know that you have assisted with the local yearling sale. How long have you been doing that?
Well, I'm not doing it anymore. I did it for quite a few years. Can't remember the exact amount, because I started as an assistant auctioneer under Chris and Howard Abrams, and then I took it over and I left that, but I also did it in Trinidad. I was in Trinidad for what, 6-7 years maybe? But their sale has gone down, so it didn't make sense bringing me there.
You were honored with the OD that you referred to earlier. That Independence morning, when you realized that you were given such an honor, what was the first thing that came to mind?
Never believed it. A friend of mine called in the morning, but I'd already left to come to work, and he spoke to my wife. She said, well, he's gone. And I think he said something to her, because he's somebody that reads the Gleaner and the Observer from early in the morning. I had no idea, right? And when I came here, he called me and said, congratulations. And I said, for what? And he said, you've been given an OD. I said, listen to me, man. Stop it. That's not... For what? I can't believe it. So eventually I called Paul Wright. And I said to Paul, look it up for me. It's on page 20 or whatever. Of course, right away, Paul Wright, you know, he's a madman anyway. So the first thing he said to me was, I don't see it. So I said, okay, I'm right. I didn't get it. And then Paul said, all right, Spuddy, okay, Spuddy, you have it. You have gotten it. Congratulations, and so forth and so on. I still can't believe it. I still can't get over it that I got that for the work. And it, you know, I'm very happy that people think that highly of my work, you know.
What is the preparation like to call a race? How do you prepare to call races?
Just come in, look at the horses, study the colors, and call the race. Other people do different things, because when Peter Yellow was here, me and him are very similar in our thought patterns and everything. And his first thing he said to me, where are your crayons? I said, crayons? I said, my grandchildren have crayons. I don't use crayons. So he said, well, every other announcer that I know except me and you use crayons and put in the colors beside the names of the horses. I said, well, I don't see the need for that. You know? So it's basically come in, look who is running, study the colors, and call the race.
How difficult it is, Spuddy, to really remember the colors. I know that when a race is being run with an owner having more than one horses, they will
Cap
change
cover,
the cap,
yeah.
and all of that. But that must be fairly difficult.
Oh, it is, but you know, I've been doing it for so long, it becomes a part of you. You know, it becomes a part of you. So that, you know, it's just, I can't explain how I do anything, you know, because I don't do things the way other people do things.
Well, if I might say so, that speaks highly of you, because I am here from a long time and I've heard other commentators, and the way in which you do it, it must be something special.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Spuddy, who would have inspired you, whether locally or internationally, in terms of horse racing commentary?
Well, you have your favorite, who is good. I rate him as well. That's your favorite is Trevor Denman.
Trevor Denman. Mm-hmm.
My favorite was Tom Durkin. Now Trevor is more high tempo, and you know, Trevor is always on a roll. But if you listen to Tom has lyrics that are good. His lyrics are better than Denman's lyrics. Denman probably calls a more high tempo race, but Durkin, when he's ready, he can also go high tempo. That's the American commentator, and of course back in the day, Howard and Chris used to listen to tapes of Peter Bromley and Peter O'Sullivan. Those guys are good. There are other commentators from England that I think there's a guy called Holt. He's extremely good. You know, so not that they inspire me, but these are people that I like, and sometimes I'll steal a couple of lyrics from them and things like that, you know. But those are the ones that I know. There are others, but these are the ones I really know.
You're renowned for your lyrics, you know. After drop into a hole to lose. There are so many of them, scraping paint off the rails.
Some of those I stole.
But
that's what commentators do. They use other people's things. But some of them I'll try to change. You know, like they'll tell you this horse is on an uncontested lead. I'll say is unmolested. So, you know, you can use their things, but sometimes you can actually change it. It's the same thing, but just a different word, so it doesn't sound monotonous. You know. So that's about it.
So the question is, sometimes during your lonesome, you think about what you can bring to the table.
Sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't work because the race didn't run that way. But what you do is put it in your reserve, and one day it will happen that you can use it. One day the race will run to suit you.
Tell the people about the experience with Peter coming here the other day,
Ayalo,
and you and him working together, because it seemed as if there was a chemistry.
this guy is a human being. He's real. And I won't go into certain details, but certain things that have happened to him, they also happened to me. And we were talking, and he'd say so and so, and I'd say yes. And I'd say so and so, and he'd say yes. So we have a lot in common in certain areas of it. That thing I was telling you about the crayons and thing. We don't bother with that. We just, this guy is fantastic. I rate him highly. He came in the box, and to be honest with you, I couldn't tell when he was studying the horses. Every now and again he'd pick up the binoculars and thing, and he never missed a beat. This guy is young though, he's 38. I'm on my way out now, I'm 68 this year. So naturally, sometimes the brain will malfunction, But that's a part of getting older.
And they're off in the third running of the Jamaica Cup. From the fence, Runaway Algo comes out firing, and in hand second is Blue Vinyl, and up to third goes Atomica. Away in fourth is Further and Beyond. Second last early to head Cornerstone, and Miniature Man is last of the half dozen as they charge into the clubhouse turn. The three favorites almost three in line, with Runaway Algo holding inside position and the lead. Atomica forcing the issue three wide, and Patterson has a decision to make on Blue Vinyl. Will he sit or will he go with them? He's going to go with them. So the three favorites, they drop the gloves early as they complete the opening quarter. Into the backstretch as one. It's Atomica three wide, Blue Vinyl in the two path. Runaway Algo pushing along at the inside. These three have opened a big advantage on Miniature Man outside to head Cornerstone, and Further and Beyond races between as they head to the 5/8. Atomica takes the lead. She's now a neck in front of Blue Vinyl. They've gone 2.5 better than Runaway Algo. It's a big gap to Miniature Man, who's underway while fourth, then to head Cornerstone. The trailer, Further and Beyond.
As they race away now toward the final half of a mile in the Jamaica Cup, and the battle up front continues. Blue Vinyl now giving way. Atomica asked to pick it up, and Atomica now goes on as they lead the 7/16. Blue Vinyl backing out into second. Runaway Algo needs to find 6 to get to Atomica. A huge gap opens up to Miniature Man, the head Cornerstone, and forget Further and Beyond as the pace increases at the 5/16. They're coming into the lane, and the Super Filly Atomica looking to hit 5 from 5. They're coming into it now. It's Atomica. Blue Vinyl throwing down the challenge on the outside. Atomica continues to hold the advantage in the Jamaica Cup. It's Atomica under the left-hand stick, running to the furlong pole. Blue Vinyl drifting off a true line. Atomica continues to run straight and true. A furlong to catch her. Can Blue Vinyl do it? He's the only one who can. They race toward the final 16th. It is Atomica, and devastating Dane Dawkins. Atomica, the nuclear-powered filly, will take the third running of the Jamaica Cup by 3 or 4 of a Blue Vinyl. Then Miniature Man, Runaway Algo, the head Cornerstone, and Further and Beyond yet to finish.
Speaking about being on the way out, what would you say is the key to being a good commentator?
I don't know. You have to be accurate. Try to be accurate and descriptive. I think that's my strong point, being descriptive. I probably don't have the best voice. Some of the other commentators, I think, have a more exciting, better voice than me. But the lyrics, it's what you can put out, and to be descriptive. Description means a lot, and I learned that from like Tom Durkin and Trevor Denman and them, that the more you put in is the better it is. So to just say A from B from C from D, it's boring. It gets boring. You have to put stuff in it.
So if you were to advise a youngster coming into the business, what would you say to him? I mean, as concise and as brief as you can be.
I don't know. It depends on his talent level, how he handles it. How he handles it. That's a very difficult question to answer.
But the do's and the don'ts, basically the framework, that's what I'm getting at. The do's and the don'ts, what you're trying not to do. what you must do?
Try not to assume, because I've heard people declare winners from 2 furlongs out, some 3 furlongs out, some 4 furlongs out, only to have a catastrophe in the end and the horse. So you don't assume, call what you see, and call what you see happening. And as I said, try to be accurate. You have to study your colors so that it becomes second nature once you look. And if you don't know the colors, you know who's giving you trouble from before you start the race. So what I normally do is write it down on the top of my book, who my problem is. So that, because you know, sometimes you'll hear me ad-libbing as they go to the half mile. I have forgotten something and I have to switch over, but you won't know because I don't stop speaking. Or you try not. Every now and again you get a little dead air. But, you know, you're not perfect.
You try to minimize that as much as possible.
Yeah.
Spuddy, you have seen it all, basically at Caymanas Park here. Who are some of the better horses, or if you want to say the best horse you have seen race at Caymanas Park?
That's hard to tell, because you have times, you know,
Different eras.
different eras, you know, so that's very difficult. One of my favorites was Harlequin. Legal Light, obviously everybody going to talk about it, but remember I only go back 40 years, right, which sounds like a long time, but there was a lot of other horses that I never saw. You had the Dyke Jobs and all of this, you had Shiza Manita, you know, a lot of good horses. I don't think the horses now are as good as what they used to be. I think the breeding needs to be stepped up. The breeders need to step up to the plate. You know, but out of every crop you do have something very, very good. You know, Atomica is very good, you know.
And likewise, jockeys that you...
Well, you know my jockey. George Osang went away and proved himself. But you know my jockey was Winston Griffiths. But a lot of people didn't like him because of his English style. But, you know, I was told this one was better than him and that one was better than him, and he beat all of them. So he obviously has timing and he was just gifted with it. He's my jockey. George is up there, and I'm not talking about Rajiv Maharaj, because he was here till 12 and then he left. I mean, if you're going to use it as a Jamaican, Rajiv is probably the best jockey we've ever produced. But I can't say at Caymanas Park because he learned to ride abroad. But Winston was my jockey.
What about trainers?
Well, I mean, that answers itself. Wayne DaCosta was excellent. Philip Fiani was excellent. He had a lot of good trainers, you know, but those two stand out to me. You might have had better Billy Williams. You might have had better before my time. But I don't know Abby Granham and those people. I've only heard about them. I wasn't around then. But Philip and Wayne have proven themselves.
When Spuddy is not calling races here at Caymanas Park, what Spuddy love to do?
Watch TV.
Anything in particular?
I watch a lot of nature, like Discovery Channel and stuff like that, animals and all of those things, you know. And of course, Sticky, you know, I'm a bird shooter. So when that time comes, I'm gone. That's my time to disappear.
What kind of food Spuddy love to eat?
Everything. I went to Monroe College. You eat anything. If you don't, you'll starve. So food has never been a problem for me.
But what's your favorite? What you prefer? If you had a choice, what would you go for? More often than not.
You know, I like fish. You know, I like a nice fillet steak and stuff like that. Ackee and saltfish, which I have right behind me here now. You know, mackerel and rundown. I like food. I prefer yam and dumpling and banana than rice. Rice and peas is nice and all that. I eat everything. Once you cook it good, that's my favorite food. Once it tastes good.
Other than racing, what kind of sports Spuddy like?
You know, I'm a football person. Manchester United. Ashamed to say it now, but it's they'll be back. I'm
not in our lifetime, but anyway.
No, well, I don't know. You might die tomorrow, but in my lifetime they'll be back. Yeah, football is one of my pet things. I don't mind cricket, but you know, West Indies is so disappointing right now. To really watch West Indies lose every time, it's no fun.
They just beat Australia.
They did?
Yes.
I didn't even watch it. In what? Test match?
Yes, second test.
Hip, hip, hooray.
First in 27 years.
Well, that's great. And
Australia.
you know why? You know, brought in the youth, and the youth are hungry and they want to perform.
I'm
Simple
glad
as
you say
that.
And,
Yeah.
and I tell you, they beat them in a day-night test match, which is the first team to do that to Australia.
But it shows you, and what's this little guy name? Shamar
Joseph.
Joseph. It's hard to watch it again.
7 wickets.
Because I cannot take the heartache. It's like when Jamaica plays football, I try to watch it after I see the score. Because my heart is not strong enough to face the foolishness sometimes that they do to lose. And it happens to every team, you know. Maybe I'm a hard barker. Manchester United, I don't watch them again unless I hear they're up 3-0 and then I'm still worried that they might still lose. But football is a passion of mine, you know.
How much longer can we and the public hope to hear Brian Rickman
I can't
on
tell
the
you.
airwaves?
I can't tell you that. Depends on my faculties. I might lose my brain, which my wife says I didn't have one in the start anyway. I might lose, you might lose your sight, you know. When I can't manage it anymore, I'm coming out. But retirement age is 70, and this contract I have here pushes me to, I think, 69, close to 70. If I'm still feeling good with myself, then I will continue. But if I'm messing up on a regular basis, when I start to mess up, I'll be out.
You spoke about wife. Tell us about your family.
I have a wife and 2 children, a son and a daughter. She has 2 girls. I'm a grandfather. Bruce is my son. He represented Jamaica in Taekwondo, WTF Taekwondo. The one that is mostly kicking. That's the one in the Olympics. Robin, she works at Guardsman Limited. She actually employs the guards. And then I have Jazz and Isla. Those are my 2 eyeballs. You know, those are my grandchildren. One is 7 and one is 12.
And how much do they mean to you?
Really, you don't have to ask that.
But I know.
I'm
but
a rollover. I'm a sucker for them, and every time they see me, I'm a person. Right now, if you check this right pocket, it's full of sweeties, and I put it out on my table. And when I put it out on my table, everybody gravitates to my table. And no, the grandchildren have us soft. They're our eyeballs.
Spuddy, if I were to give you 5 seconds to tell me, in your estimation, the best race you would have called here, would you be able to do it? Something that at the end of it, you were like, wow, yeah, I really.
It has happened. It has happened, but I can't put a finger on any one, because it has happened more than once where I've called races that I thought were good, and not just me, but people have come and said, hey, that was great, you know. But my best race, my best achievement calling races wasn't here. It was the one in Puerto Rico, because I was nervous as hell. I'd never done anything other than here. Everything is different. It was 13 horses, so it's not like a walk in the park with 6 horses or something like that, right? And I really came out on it well. So that to me was my biggest achievement in that Caribbean Classic. I think one of our horses was Wild Orchid.
Okay.
In that thing. Ray Chemita from Venezuela won the race from Landalusia, and they took away the both of them for drugs. And the Puerto Rican horse El Velvet Candy Bay got the race in the room, you know. So that to me was my best achievement, because it was on unfamiliar turf, unfamiliar runners, except the 2 I knew. You know, so that to me was my best achievement. Whether it was the best call or not, I don't know. But to go there and to do it properly, and to get accolades after it was done, that was big in my books.
Outside of commentary, what else does Spuddy do in terms of as a profession?
No, I used to work at a few places. I'm not easy to deal with, you know. So if I see certain things that I don't like, I'm out of there. And God is good, I always had this to fall back on. So I had that choice. I could leave when I wanted to. To be honest with you, Beanie, the Bible says, thou shalt eat by the sweat of your brow. It never said you must love what you're doing. So work is something, if I like it, I don't have a problem doing it. But if I don't like it, it doesn't last long. Because I'm not going to stay there. I'm going to come out.
Are you enjoying races now as opposed to back then, especially when you had your jock winning 4 championships in a row?
I enjoy racing, and this thing that happened with me and Peter Yellow the other day, that's a highlight of my career as far as I'm concerned. We had a blast up here, you know, and as I say, he is real. He's not fake in any way about him. You know what I mean? We went out to dinner more than once and stuff like that. This guy is real. This guy is real. And that to me was one of the greatest days I've had for my entire career, was working with Pete.
What do you think of that, the Mute Mile Day?
It was great. There are people who, you know, the usual ballers, you know, but they don't see through the whole thing. It has put us on the map. And I was particularly thrilled. I wasn't thrilled with the first part of my call because the field was bunched and I had to go slowly, which I didn't like. The last part of it, I'm okay with that. I got a bust on Fox Sports. So, you know, that is, mind you, I'm international now because we carry racing all over the place.
Right.
But Fox Sports, being on Fox Sports was special, you know. So.
Brian Spuddy Rickman, it was our pleasure, sir.
Always been here. You know, we have been friends from long ago. We all worked here together. So, you know, and I'm glad and thank you for the interview. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your life.
Thank you, sir.
And don't die before Manchester United wins the Premier League again.
Well, I can only try because I don't really control.
We don't.
Exactly.
We don't.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of people don't realize. We don't control life. The Almighty does, not us.
Exactly. And, you know, I really enjoyed the years. I mean, working along with you here, you know, and I think you're one of the best.
Well, I thank you. I thank you. That's good.
That goes without saying. Spuddy,
I thank you guys.
maximum respect, sir.
Bless.
Thank you for watching another video produced by the team from quickgallopjaya.com and its YouTube channel, The Quick Galloper. Please stay on the channel for other enlightening videos on those involved in local horse racing. Please like, subscribe, and press the notification bell.